Okay, here we are, Downriver Disc Golf Course, which after the remodel is going to be called Whitewater, I believe. That's the rumor. Yeah, but this property is the course I learned to play on. First course in Spokane. I remember playing the original 21-hole layout on buckets back in 2000, 2001. And it was highly treed. Lots of tight fairways. And they had to do a massive remodel in the name of stormwater treatment. So mowed down a great portion of the trees, built a lot of swales, ponds, and have reseeded it. So it's a complete new design. I don't know anything about the design. There are no baskets yet because they're waiting for the seed to take hold before they open it to the public. But I heard rumor that there's tee pads and the sleeves for the pin. So I'm here just to explore, see what this property looks like after so many years and a huge change, and thought I'd bring you along to enjoy the journey. So if I find some tee pads, I'm going to walk them through, find the pins, throw some shots. Otherwise, just going to enjoy the river and start by eating a little lunch. If you're in Spokane and you're looking for a serious calorie per dollar ratio lunch that's also absolutely delicious, I would highly suggest Nito Burrito. Nice fancy new parking lot. I see a little entry point right over there, which would be true to the old hole one too. So I'm gonna go check that and see if it looks promising. Nice little kiosk here. And then of course the balsam root just really cooking right now. Just full glory all throughout the property. So excited to be spending the day with them. The original hole one, like very original, teed off right there in front of that fallen log, which wasn't there back in the day. Yeah, so this pine tree hasn't been hole one for who knows how long, probably 10 years. And you can just see the age-old wounds from just thousands of first available tags. Anyway, it appears the new hole one is down this direction. Gotta see a tee pad just tucked right there. Well, here's hole one, I assume. I was really hoping that these posts might have a number sign on them, but they don't. So I'm gonna be taking some liberties here, guessing on the layout. I took an educated guess and assumed that the first hole would probably be a right-handed hyzer. So walked down there, took a left, found the pin placement. Some really cool water features in between. So there's a pond you gotta clear, and then the green is tucked up against another pond. So it's probably only about 300 feet, slightly downhill. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna call that more like 250. So here's the edge of the pond. There's my second drive. The pin is just to the right of this big pine. And looking back over what used to be hole 1, hole 15, etc., just absolutely barren. So interesting to see all this as water feature instead of forest. Okay, here's my first drive. As I mentioned, the pin is right next to that second big pine. So I'm just going to use the pine as a target for now. Try for my birdie. Well, pretty low, but that's the target. This is going to be some serious low scoring if I play old school rules and just hit the tree wherever. But check this out. Found an old tee pad. So that is the tee pad for what used to be holding. Ooh, and now that I'm getting closer to the pin, I'm noticing this little stake. Basket 1A. Okay, so I have something to look for now. I'm excited. Next tee, that's the question. I'm walking towards the first tee sign that I see. may or may not be a good indication of the next tee. But we'll check it out anyway. Well, I feel like I'm getting pretty lucky so far. Tee number 2. It appears there's a long tee right there and a short tee right there. This is like old hole 5 on steroids. So I'm just gonna throw a tee shot as if it's the old hole 5 and then explore for the pin afterwards. I gotta assume this is a par 4 at least. Yeah, that's dreamy. Okay, there's the Mendo tree right there. We gotta follow right of. My drive went over here, just tucked in the woods, slightly to the right. Short, there's some scramble potential right there. Cute little drop zone. Don't miss the Mando. This is quaint. They cut me a little bench to sit on while I throw my next shot. So I'm assuming the green's right up there, past that log. This would give me about a 60-footer uphill for birdie 3. Well, it would have been parked for the old placement, and all they've done is scooted the basket about 15 feet closer to the road. Par save. Okay, hole 3. Confirmed by the T-post. And I'm glad this hole's here. It reminds me of the old hole 6. Which threw from up here by the main road all the way to the river. So many near aces just bombed into the water, or skips at the base going into the water when it's high like today. Anyway, they took out the downhill shot. We just were walking down to the next hole after 5, so I'm glad we have downhill shot here. And this is a cool fairway. So I'm gonna throw it in the blind and assume it's an Anheuser down to the old tee. I could be completely wrong. But just saved myself the hike, threw a cool line, see what happens. Sweet little grape hyacinth patch, just right along the fairway. Gotta love springtime. Sweet. Okay, so my instincts were right. That's the old tee pad for 7, which is where I was trying to throw my first shot. But I ended up kind of hanging it left, which is over by the old hole 4 basket. So that's not where you want. Down here on the old 7th tee pad is the goods. And it's an elevated little stupa. Very cool. So fun little blind Anheuser shot to an elevated basket. Now I got a downhill 55-footer to the stupa. Short and left. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to make putting harder, just make the target 2 inches tall and an inch wide. Par save. Old hole 7. Same fairway. This is now hole 4. And I'm kind of thinking it might be a short hole. Yeah, I do see a tee pad over down there on the old 8th fairway. So it wouldn't be bombing too far past that. It's actually a little longer than it looks. Yeah, that's the one. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised that this lower portion of the course has remained pretty untouched. This feels very reminiscent of the old layout and the old property. The talk was that everything was being wildly remodeled, but in fact this lower section is pretty wild still. I'm happy about that. I got like a, I don't know, 18-footer, 20-footer, feels like 40. right, birdie. Even got a little sound effect. Okay, using similar logic, hole 5, I see a T sign over to the left, only about 260, 270 feet down there. So I can't imagine it's going beyond that. Plus I see some disturbed ground right there amongst those old pines. Really only like a 225 foot shot. I think that's the pin, so we'll find out. Didn't turn it. Hit that kick right. Yeah, good disc. Gotta talk to him. I would consider this pretty much a par 2. Just straightforward, no obstacles. It's out of bounds if you get really squirrely, but this was kind of a shank. And I'm inside the circle. See if I can hit the putt. I can't tell. I think that was just over the top. But man, if that target is 3 inches instead of 2 inches high, that's money. I'll call it a par though. I already got one lucky putt. Old hole 10. What a classic shot that was. It hasn't been there for a long time. You hiked way up the hill. You threw down right towards the river. And then you had to just come up short right on the green there. It was a fantastic shot. Tons of risk reward. But it's been gone for a long time. Anyway, next hole. Short tee right here. Long tee back there. Of course, this is my assumption. And based on a rumor, this is the 1100 footer going back to the tee pad of hole 3. So I'm gonna play it as such. Hole 6, the par 6. Not really, I'm sure it's a par 5. But some people are gonna wish it was a par 6. Water all down the right side, 1100 feet. Kind of like old hole 11, but old hole 9 combined with hole 11 plus hole 3 backwards. This is a mega hole. This is indeed what it is. It's an absolute rip. Times 3. Well, it's in the middle, so it's probably fine. And again, par 5, so lots of chances to make more distance. This river is just absolutely spectacular. Look at this sandy beach where somebody had a little fire. And the rapids just carving their way through the rock. So beautiful. Okay, I guess I could have done some calculations in my head, because 1100 feet from back there doesn't make sense for hole 3. And upon getting to my drive, I noticed a tee pad over here and a pin placement about 40 feet, 45 feet to the right there behind the pines. So, hole 6, drivable par 3. God, that was really close. Oh, and out of bounds right here. So this totally saved me. So you have to kind of hug the river and play it risky. Okay, hole 7. Used to be hole 11, 500 footer right along the water. And it was totally like the mark of distance in the game. Like back in the day, it was like if you could get near the pin and give yourself a jump putt, you were an absolute crusher. And in today's game, 500 foot par 3, pretty common. But today, 1100 feet. Up past the old placement, around the road, up to the hill. Yeah, perfect. An interesting thing happened in the last hole. I cut my finger with my thumbnail, which I grow out to play guitar. And upon releasing my drive, my thumbnail just gouged into my finger. So I'm lucky to be carrying around athletic tape so I can continue. But it doesn't feel good. Okay, second shot. Here we go. Looks like there's a Mando to the right of this tree up here. So you gotta follow the path.
following the river for a while. I'm like, I think I'm gonna run up on the disc course.
Yep, indeed.
It's a nice day for it.
Sure is, fantastic. Enjoy the walk.
Hey, thanks, man.
Ooh, a little pinch. If that counter skips to the road, that is money for the birdie. As it is, it's gonna be kind of a tough shot, probably a pitch out. Marco. Oh wait, there's a Mando up there anyway. I can't shoot that gap. Wow, so you gotta take this path. Interesting. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to get greedy on your third shot here. Stay in the middle, easy chip shot for the par. Up to that grove of small pines. Got it. Look at this spectacular view. This is the corner that I mentioned. Used to be the tee pad of hole 3. I have no idea where the pin is, but I played enough disc golf courses to have some educated guesses. There's a little peninsula out there by that leftmost pine. That would be a great spot for a green. And given the distance of the hole so far, that's like, 275 or something, OB all around. That'd be a nice placement. I can imagine them choosing. Otherwise, up there by that fallen log, kind of beyond, much longer shot, closer to 400. I'm gonna throw both of those, see if my intuition's good, and then we'll check it out. Perfect. Let's try the long shot. That. Ooh, did not. This erosion sure is interesting. When I was a kid, this was full of locust, kind of like that area over there. And drives on hole 2 would come down in here and fall in the river a lot. And we'd go tumbling down this hill looking for them. But now it's a total death pit. Just slippery sand all the way to the shore. Although the beach looks even nicer than it used to for swimming. So interesting changes over time. If my peninsula idea would have been right, this would be a great shot. Very long water carry, to be honest. Tee pad's back there. This was the shorter of the 2 shots. So if the pin is in a longer position, this is a demanding tee shot. Pretty exciting. Okay, I had the right idea. That's the shrub my drive got held up in. There's the log I was trying to get beyond, but there's a tee pad right back there. So it's the left side of the log. It's kind of in between the 2 ideas I had. And there's actually a little target to aim at today. Nice fancy little sleeve. While this green area is very cool, I like the slope and the little graffiti metal chunk. I do kind of wish the out of bounds was more in play. Putt. As it is, you have a pretty giant island to land on. But cool hole. I like this one, especially if that's full of water. I think that's just mark. That's still a par though. So bogey free. I think I'm hanging on to 2 under. Old hole 15. More or less same tee pad. And I see some chips kind of leveled up to the right there. So I'm going to speculate the basket's a similar distance, tucked more to the right. Kind of over that rock wall, continuing to hang. So let's try that out and see what happens. That's exactly what I want. We'll see if that's the green. They left this cool shelter, which is such a relic of the course. However, it used to be kind of tucked in the woods. And now look, it just looks out over this exposed area. Wow, the balsam root are just popping. Well, this takes playing the course blind to a new level. I'm very proud of this shot. 6-footer. Pure speculation. See if I can make the putt. Got it. Birdie town. I'm staying on the tee pad of hole 10. However, my phone is about to die. So I'm gonna leave you here. I have no idea what this basket is, but clearly it's old hole 18 in reverse. If I had to guess, I'd say it's all the way down there. There's that rock you can see in the distance. I'm gonna assume tucked to the left. And you know what? You're never gonna know, because this is the end of the video. Right down the gut. Well, kinda. Landed down the gut. Yeah, that one plays. I think that's about it. Okay, I am walking the rest of the course. So I thought I would just give you kind of a rundown of the layout as I see it. Hole 10, that drive up the gut was about 35 feet short. So the pin's kind of tucked along that road, which I'm guessing plays out of bounds. It's a cool straight shot, nice classic disc golf hole. And then 11 is a really awesome hole. It's a left to right bender. It's kind of like a bomb forehand, but the tail end of the hole is all out of bounds and you have to kind of carry the water to get to it. So it's a very risk reward off the tee. I think you'll see a lot of layup threes and a lot of bogey strokes. And hole 12 plays a lot like old 16. So it's an island green. I'm here at the drop zone right now, which is only about a 35-foot putt. And the water carry goes out over left to right, or you're playing a tunnel shot up the woods. Hole 14 was an unmissable Mando to a undetermined pin. Okay, I found the green for the double Mando. It's a very cool hole. So the line is kind of up through there. That's where the double Mando is. There's a drop zone right at it. Probably a par 4. It would be all left side, and then it drops downhill to the right to this little spider green surrounded by out of bounds. So you got to pick your putt correctly. Lots of straddle putts, lots out of bounds, and it's definitely reachable with like a long forehand through the double Mando. Very cool hole. Hole 15 I had to show you because it's just a bomber. Seemingly over some water maybe. Or maybe this will just be grass, I'm not sure. Kind of reminds me of old hole 20, just ripping off the hill. But I have no idea where the pin is. Oh, actually, wait. It could be all the way over to that wood chip mound. Okay, let's try for that. The wood chip mound indeed. Very cool shot. And I'm realizing now that these open areas are seeded with a bunch of grass. So they might become marshy because they're designed to kind of catch water, but they're not all gonna be ponds. And if that was the case, this would be an absolute beast of a water carry. They might even call this a par 4. I mean, it's gotta be close to 600 downhill to get to this wood chip area. You can see the sleeve right here for original hole 13, which is surrounded by all these trees. There's a video out there, I think on Stimpy Steve's channel, of me at early 2000s, probably age 13 or something, acing this hole off of a tree kick. A wizard floating high, counter skips off a tree right into the chains. So go check that out. Lots of history on this course. It's fun to share with y'all.